big warm welcome to everyone. Thank you all so much for being here, and especially a big warm welcome to Kris. Thank you so much for being here. It's lovely to have you here. Finally.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Before everybody logged on, we got a chance to reminisce a little bit about the first time we met in January of 2015, and you came to a workshop. I was speaking at an event that we were at, and I love that EFT and the work that we do brings us with these connections with people all over the world, and you're one of those people. So thanks for thinking of me and inviting me to be here.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you here, Kris. And I first saw Kris, and she gave a talk as Kris was saying, at an EFT event many years ago. And I remember you came onto the stage, Kris, and you had this original speech lined up, whatever you were going to give, and then you just kind of threw it off and just said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do my own thing. And it just really struck me that you were there. You're fully in your own power, and you just took the place by storm, and it was just fantastic. And yeah, and I just felt you were really authentic, and you just fully standing in your own power, which I really, really liked. So it's absolutely amazing. So Kris has written a wonderful book. I have it here now. Your difference is your strength. We're just going to talk a little bit about it. And first of all, congratulations on your book, Kris. It's a great, great book. Well done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a real labor of love, this one.
Yeah, yeah. And very often, I come from a corporate background, and they were always talking about, your weaknesses and improve your weaknesses and focusing on your weaknesses. But this is just lovely. Like, well, it's actually what about your strengths? And so I love that this is, that your difference is your strength, and why not capitalize on this? And and rather than trying to fit into the mold of what somebody else wants us to be, is actually, well, look, what are your strengths, and then kind of bring them out. So maybe just tell us a little bit about what brought you to write the book, and also then to tell the story, because I love the story of the last pick. So maybe just tell us a little bit about what brought you to write the book.
Well, I was one of those kids that felt different from the moment that I had any realization of myself. I just felt different from my family. I felt different from the people in my community, and I didn't exactly know why that was. Later on, I was a chubby kid. I was a socially awkward kid. I was a clumsy kid. So there were lots of then physical reasons or things that people could reject me or bully me about. But at that from the earliest moments, I remember just feeling different and questioning everything, things that I was being taught and what I was growing up with, and having some of those big questions of who am I, in the universe, and what does that mean? I remember as a very young child looking at the cover of a National Geographic magazine, and I don't know if you all had those in the UK, but it was a magazine that was all about science and nature and things like that, and it had this picture of the cosmos on it. And I remember seeing that and thinking, well, who am I in all of this? And most people, even adults, don't even ask those questions. And so I was alone a lot as a kid. I had parents that were working multiple jobs and siblings that were way older than I was. So I was sort of left to my own devices. And I found myself, talking to angels and saints and having those as my invisible friends. And so from a very early age, I had a deep spiritual inclination because I just think it was the only thing that I could hold on to. And then as I got into school, I started being picked on and bullied for my size when I was in kindergarten, which is when we start school here. And so I was ostracized and rejected and often left out of things. And it was really, really difficult. But it was also like the people around me were picking up on the fact that I was different. And so I had a pretty profound experience that happened in the third grade. I had the experience in gym class or physical education class of being the last picked for teams. So often in physical education, we would go into the class, and often the teacher would say, okay, I'm going to move you into two groups and you're going to play dodgeball or some kind of game. And they would have two students be the leads, the team leaders. And those team leaders would then take turns one at a time picking kids from the rest of the class. And I was always the last picked. And so you can imagine there was some degree of PTSD that I had about going to gym class because it was, I felt singled out, I felt shamed, I felt humiliated. And so, and I was also way taller than everyone also. So I was way taller than all of the boys and the girls. So I stood out in a lot of different ways physically. And so I remember just kind of trying to kind of hunch over and kind of cringe, trying to kind of make myself smaller and invisible. And of course that would never work. And so this one time we get to the gym class, and there were three third grade classes, and there had been partitions in the gym which they took down, so they had the full gymnasium set up with three full volleyball courts. And what the third grade teachers had decided is that they were going to have a tournament, they were going to have a contest, and they were going to split up these three classes into six teams, and we would go head to head. And then as people won, the winners would play each other like they do in tournaments until there was one overall winner. And so they were going to need six team leaders. And so I'm sitting there, cringing, not wanting to be there. And when they asked who wanted to be a team leader, my hand shot up. And I say my hand shot up because I did not consciously move my hand up, okay? Some other part of me took over and raised my hand up. And much to my surprise, the gym teacher chose me as one of the six team leaders. And so I'm now standing in the front, and I'm the one that's going to choose. And so I decided that in my one moment of power in a very disempowered life, that I was going to choose the last picked, all of the other last picked kids. And I knew who they were. It was the kid with asthma, right? It was the kid that showed up and had stains on his clothes and people made fun of him. It was the little girl with glasses. And so one by one, when it was my turn, I chose all of them. And each and every one of them looked at me like, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. And I thought, yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. But I thought, for this one time, they're not going to be the last picked, not on my watch. I'm going to let them know that they're wanted and that they're wanted by me. And so we split up onto the court. And as I mentioned, I was clumsy and not very physically good. And yet I just started cheering my team on. And I don't even know how I did this because it certainly wasn't reflected in my home and it certainly wasn't reflected in my school. But I just kept encouraging my teammates. I kept saying, "You got this, we can do it." And if they missed the ball, I'd say, who cares? We just got to go on to the next play. And I found that this zeal was emerging out of me, and I became really enthusiastic, and I found myself really just loving all of the people that were on my team, and which was really important because I felt really isolated as a kid. And so suddenly now this was my tribe, these were my people. And as we were encouraging one another, the craziest thing happened. We started getting pretty good. We started scoring. We started making less mistakes, and we started progressing. And the craziest thing happened in all of this is that at the same time that I had picked my ragtag team of misfits to be my crew members on this endeavor, the bell curve, another team had formed, which was all of our superiors. It was our bullies, it was the athletes, it was the popular kids, it was those who always were great in gym class, who were always team leaders. They had formed their super winner team, and I had formed the super loser team, and everybody else fell somewhere in between. Well, as we started winning, when it came down to the end, it was us against the super team of the winners. And they made a really big show of saying, oh, we're going to be gentle on them. We're going to take it easy on them, because they didn't really think that we had any real competition. And we didn't think that we had any real competition. But as we started to play, we started scoring and we started winning. And suddenly, this competitive spirit that I didn't know that I had was unleashed within me. And I wanted to win. I wanted revenge. I wanted to get back at them. But when we brought in a legitimate competition, they relied on their old tricks and they started making fun of us. They started taunting us and doing the things that they had been doing to us all along to try to bring us down. And as much as I could, I would put a hand on a teammate's shoulder and say, don't look at them, look at me. Don't look at them, look at me. We got this, we got this. And we played our hearts out. And I had something I'd never actually had in gym class before, which is I had fun. And in the end, we did lose by 1 point. And they went into bluster, right? Oh, we knew we were going to win and we're so great. But you know what? The wind had been taken out of their sails. And the truth was, is that it was really, you doth protest too much. It was a lot of making a big deal about something that they really didn't feel, because we had leveled the playing field for the first time ever. And as we were walking off the court, in the bleachers, in the stands, were all the other students and all of the teachers, and everyone was staring at me. And the looks on their faces were something that I didn't understand. And then I realized that it was respect, that they respected me for doing something that they did not think that I could do and that I did not think that I could do. And how an 8-year-old me would somehow know how to do this is can only be a divine experience, because in that moment I thought, if I'm going to be a misfit, I'm going to be the queen of the misfits. And I'm going to take a stand for us. And I'm not going to stand on the sidelines waiting to be chosen. I'm going to choose myself, and I'm going to choose the people that I want to have in my circle. And life after that, it wasn't that the bullying diminished. I had to deal with that all the way through the end of my education. But I changed because I recognized that there were gifts and talents and skills within me that I previously hadn't known about, and that maybe these people that were saying all of these things about me, that they didn't know who I really was, and I had uncovered who I really was. And so when I was writing the book, boom, that memory came back. I mean, I probably haven't thought about it since I was 9. And all of it came back with all of the details. The subconscious is genius, right? It holds all of that stuff for us. And I was able to relive that memory. And I thought, wow, it's all been leading to this. It's all been coming to this moment.
Yeah. And one of the things you say in the book, you said, like you said, funny how that happens when you respect yourself. So actually, I think that's the key thing, is when you start to respect yourself, well, then others then start to respect you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is exactly what happened. And I think that I did something for all of us that day, which was just a chance for us to say we have value and we matter, and we're
Yeah.
not what you think we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said, like, we decided to stop being what everyone else told us we were and take a chance that we were capable of more. I just love that. I love that quote. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So maybe we might do some tapping, Kris. And you were suggesting maybe that, do you want to suggest what people might put in the chat box for about feeling different or
Well, I thought what we could do is, for anybody here who has ever felt different in any kind of way, and it might be one specific circumstance or relationship, or it might be a theme, like for me, that's been with me my whole life. I'm going to ask you all to fill in the question for yourself. I am different because. And it may be something physical. It may be some part of you, or the way you think, or the way that you interact in the world, or something from your childhood, or something from the present. But to fill that in, and then if you feel comfortable and want to share it in the chat, that would be great. And then we can do some tapping around this. And I'm going to call whatever you feel different with this. So if I'm saying, even though I feel different because of this, you all will be thinking about and speaking what that specific this is for you. So does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to do 3 rounds.
Uh, let's just see. Let's just do a round on this, and then we might see what comes up after that, and then see. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so you'll guide me and see what, what feels right
See.
as our
Yeah.
this today. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
All right, so I start on the side of the hand. I know people tap in lots of different ways right now, but I'm
Yeah.
sort of old school.
I'll give you one straight away. Is people think I'm weird?
Oh, that's a story of my life. Okay. Okay, good, good. Oh, I've always felt so deeply. Michelle also the story of my life. I've been told I'm too sensitive, I'm too this, I'm too that, too everything. In fact, there's a chapter in the book towards the end called Too Big, about a recent experience where someone was saying I was too much and how I responded in that time. So yeah, I feel that. I really, really do. Too intense. The too much, right? I'm a daydreamer. Wow, I can resonate with everything that's been shared so far here. Fantastic. I'm gonna bring the chat thing up so I can see it better. Oh, so unwell. Okay. Yeah, look at all this. Wow, very, very good. And if you don't want to put it in the chat, that's absolutely perfectly acceptable. You know what it is. Everybody is muted. You all can insert that in or even just think it, but bring the energy of that thing that you've been judged for or that you've judged yourself for, or maybe both. Okay. All right. So everybody ready? Okay, good. So even though I feel different because of
E-
this.
Even though I feel different because they tell me I'm weird,
And that's made me feel,
and that's made me feel different.
yeah, for just right now,
But just right now,
I'm facing that thought and these feelings
I'm facing that thought and these feelings
because I'd really like it to change.
because I'd really like it to change.
Even though I've always felt different because,
Even though I've always felt different because people tell me I'm weird.
and that's made me feel
And that's made me feel different. It's made me feel other.
other. Ooh. Oh, that's, Woo, tears coming up already. Wow. For just right now,
Just right now,
I'd like to remember
I'd like to remember
that I am purposefully made.
that I am purposefully made.
And maybe this difference is a strength after all.
And maybe this difference is a strength after all.
Even though I feel different because of this,
Even though I feel different because of this.
and it's made me feel,
And it's made me feel other, like I don't fit in.
and how that's affected me is
And how that's affected me is it's made me try to make myself smaller at times.
for just right now,
Just right now,
I'm honoring myself
I'm honoring myself
for all these realizations.
for all these realizations.
I'm bringing love and compassion to this experience,
I'm bringing love and compassion to this experience.
And I'd really like to let the energy within this flow
And I really like to let the energy within this flow
because I want to feel differently about this.
because I want to feel differently about this.
Good. Good work, everybody. Bringing up some stuff. Okay, I start at the beginning of the eyebrows. I'm different because
I'm different because people say I'm weird.
already yawning on your behalf. Yeah, side of the eye, I like to alternate here. It helps to break up patterns. And feeling this difference makes me feel.
And feeling this difference makes me feel on the outside.
Yeah. And it's affected my life in this way.
And it's affected my life in this way.
And this way that I felt other.
And this way that I felt other.
And this way that I've judged my difference as bad.
In this way as I've judged my difference as bad.
In this way, it's made me diminish myself.
In this way, it's made me diminish myself.
Something's really coming through about relationships with other people really strongly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way it's affected my relationships with others.
And the way it's affected my relationships with others.
And the way it's affected my relationship with myself.
And the way it's affected my relationship with myself.
For just right now,
But just right now,
I'm being with what is
I'm being with what is
and allowing the energy within it to flow
and allowing the energy within it to flow
and welcoming forward
and welcoming forward
any cognitive shifts
any cognitive shifts
about this now.
about this now.
Let's go back to the side of the hand. Everybody, let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose and blow it out. Nice deep breath in and blow it out. Good. Good. So everybody just get present with what we started with. This thing, this aspect of you that has made you feel different in some kind of way. And see how you feel about it right now. And if you want to put some feeling words into the group chat, you can absolutely do that. If not, I think I think Grania and myself have things that are coming through anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you, yeah, it's
yeah.
a
Uh, Lots of words. Hurt,
oh,
sadness, other keeps coming up. Hurt, sadness, other. Yeah. Different.
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Michelle's got
compassion. Good. That's yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Michelle, for holding that in the group for us. That's so necessary. Yeah, yeah. So even though feeling different has made me feel other,
Even though feeling different has made me feel other,
and it's brought up some hurt and sadness,
and it's brought up some hurt and sadness,
and maybe even some shame.
and maybe even some shame. Oh, and alienated,
Alienated. Yeah, yeah.
and a people pleaser. I'm just reading the comments here.
Right. Yeah. For just right now,
Just right now,
I'm facing these feelings.
I'm facing these feelings.
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
Tapping with a group,
I'm tapping with the group,
and I'm opening to flow.
and I'm opening to flow.
I'm opening to a shift right now.
I'm opening to a shift right now.
Oh, good. Nice big yawn coming up. Yeah, yeah. Even though being different has made me feel alienated,
Even though feeling different has made me feel alienated,
it's made me feel like I am other.
it's made me feel like I am other.
And it's been so hurtful and sad.
And it's been so hurtful and sad.
For just right now,
For just right now,
I'm opening up
I'm opening up
that to the idea that this difference is actually a strength.
that this difference is actually a strength.
I'd like to let the past go
I'd like to let the past go
and other people's opinions go
and other people's opinions go
and come back into balance now.
and come back into balance now.
Even though being different has made me feel outside,
Even though being different has made me feel outside,
caused me to be a people pleaser
caused me to be a people pleaser because I don't fit the mold.
because I don't fit the mold. Yeah, oof, good. The truth is,
The truth is,
I probably was made this way
I probably was made this way
or became this way for a reason,
or became this way for a reason.
for just right now.
For just right now,
I'd like to see what I couldn't see before,
I'd like to see what I couldn't see before.
that there's a reason why I am the way that I am.
That there's a reason that I am the way I am.
Yeah. That my difference is a strength.
That my difference is a strength. Can I say something else? That it's
Yeah.
made me who I am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's made me who I am.
I wouldn't be who I am without all these experiences.
I wouldn't be who I am without all these experiences. And that's grown my compassion
And that's grown my compassion
for others.
for others.
And I'm giving that to myself right now.
And I'm giving that to myself right now.
Alienated,
Alienated,
outside,
outside,
people pleaser.
people pleaser.
Let's hang out under the eye. There's a
Okay.
lot coming up here. Let's hang out here on the under eye point, our anxiety point here. And what I'm hearing is scary. Yeah, it's been
Scary.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rejected. Another one coming up. You
Yeah, yeah. It's made me feel rejected.
made me feel rejected.
And I'm hearing lost. It's made me feel lost
Made me feel lost
and alone
and alone and lonely
and lonely.
and
Yeah.
lonely. Yeah.
And I got all of these messages
And I got all of these messages
that this was wrong or bad.
that this was wrong or bad. And made me feel unloved
Oh, yeah. Made me feel unloved. Yeah. And rejected.
and rejected.
And and we all need others.
And we all need others.
We all need connection.
We all need connection. I just see this.
Yeah.
Like I see this here. Made me feel inadequate.
Made me feel inadequate, right?
Yeah.
Made me feel inadequate. For just right now,
Just right now,
I'm beginning to question
I'm beginning to question
what all of those others believe and know,
what all of those others believe in
and how it lines up or doesn't line up
and how it lines up or doesn't line up
with my values,
with my values,
and with what I know to be true.
and with what I know to be true.
There's a difference there too.
There's a difference there too.
And that's a good one.
And that's a good one.
Good. Back to the side of the hand. Couple deep breaths in through the nose, now through the mouth. Ooh, this is good. There's some good flowing happening. I'm feeling it in my body in a lot of interesting ways. Ooh, you're powerful, powerful people here. Ah. So even though it makes sense
Even though it makes sense
that I would feel this way
that I would feel this way
and believe this way,
and believe this way,
after all, that message was being reinforced all around me.
after all that message was being reinforced all around me,
For just right now,
just right now,
I'm questioning it all.
I'm questioning it all.
I'm open to a new interpretation.
I'm open to a new interpretation, a
And
different interpretation.
different interpretation. Yeah, different interpretation. And I'm looking for the gold.
And I'm looking for the gold.
I'm looking for the gifts
I'm looking for the gifts
in my differences.
in my differences.
Even though I got a lot of messages
Even though I got a lot of messages
that made me feel rejected and unloved,
that made me feel rejected and unloved,
inadequate and different,
inadequate and different,
hurt and sad.
hurt and sad.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Everyone needs love and approval,
Everyone needs love and approval,
including me.
including me.
For just right now,
For just right now,
I'm putting others' opinions and ideas
I'm putting others' opinions and ideas
into their rightful place
into their rightful place
and finding the truth within me
and finding the truth within me,
that my essential self is good
that my essential self is good
and that I am here
and that I am here
to find the gold
to find the gold
in every facet of me,
in every facet of me,
including this.
including this.
Sorry, got a whole bunch of stuff that's clearing right now.
I just, for anybody new to tapping, when you're yawning, you're clearing emotions. If
Yeah, I'm
anybody's
not
yawning,
tired.
it's not that Kris is exhausted.
It's in the afternoon. I'm very awake. Yeah, and as an empath, I'm often clearing for others. So that's what's happening right now. So we're just going to embrace that clearing that's happening. Hmm. All the ways I've been made to feel different,
All the ways I've been made to feel different,
including this.
including this.
I'm welcoming forward
I'm welcoming forward
for the energy contained in this
for the energy contained in this
to soften and flow.
to soften and flow.
Everything that exists,
Everything that exists
made of energy,
is made of energy,
including my thoughts and feelings.
including my thoughts and feelings.
And the energy knows what to do
And the energy knows what to do
to bring me back into balance
to bring me back into balance
and welcome forward
and welcome forward
a fresh idea,
a fresh idea,
that all that's different within me
that all that's different within me
is here on purpose for a purpose.
is here on purpose for a purpose.
My differences set me apart.
My differences set me apart.
My differences move civilization forward.
My differences move civilizations forward.
My differences birth new ideas.
My differences birth new ideas.
My differences bring forward solutions.
My differences bring forward solutions.
My differences bring forward creativity.
My differences bring forward creativity.
My differences are here on purpose.
My differences are here on purpose.
And I'd like to remember
And I'd like to remember
that I am divinely made,
that I am divinely made,
that all of my differences
that all of my differences
serve me and others
serve me and others
by bringing forward new solutions and ideas,
by bringing forward new solutions and ideas,
of bringing diversity into the world,
of bringing diversity into the world,
making the world more interesting and dynamic,
making the world more interesting and dynamic,
providing new opportunities for others,
providing new opportunities for others,
and allowing my essential self to shine.
and allowing my essential self to shine.
I am one
I am one
with all that is good,
with all that is good,
and I'm opening to taking a chance,
and I'm open to taking a chance,
to letting my light shine brighter than ever before.
to letting my light shine brighter than ever before.
And for those very differences,
And for those very differences,
to open doors,
to open doors,
to go before me,
to go before me,
make right and perfect my way.
to make right and perfect my way.
I'm open to
I am open to
moving into deeper love and self acceptance,
moving into deeper love and self acceptance,
and receiving miracles as a result.
oh, I like that, and receiving miracles as a result.
Nice deep breath. How's everybody feeling out there in
Oh,
cyberspace?
that was lovely, Kris. Thank you so much. Yes, I'd love to hear how do people get on with that. That was very powerful. I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you are so welcome.
So yeah, I would love to get just see if you want to put in the chat box, see how you're feeling after that. Are you noticing any different? Oh, somebody can't stop yawning. That's great. Very
Compliment
soothing.
to the chef.
Oh, your first time tapping. So much lighter. So much release happening. Lovely. Love the idea of finding the difference. Yawning a lot, yeah. Really lovely. I love the positive reinforcement. Cannot stop yawning. That's great. All really good stuff.
Well, now's the time for what Grenier and I often have to tell people, make sure you hydrate, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Next 24 hours, drink lots of water. The group experiences are gentle, but they're also so incredibly powerful. So
Yeah.
thank you all for this feedback is really, really wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. I just see like Chris's book is lovely, and I get Orla to put incessant yawning. I get Orla to put up the link for Chris's book, because at the end of each chapter you've got lovely little exercise for people to do. And there's throughout the book it goes M to T, which is misfit to trailblaze, and I love that. It's just you go from being a misfit and actually just repositioning yourself well, actually to trailblazer. So it's really nice. There it is. Your
Well,
difference is your strength.
That was something that came through over here in the Northeast. We have a yearly conference called the Spring Energy Event, and I usually present every year. And so I was asked to present on something. And of course, a left brain person, I was like, I'm going to talk about this, and this is the way it's going to be. And then in the middle of the night, the day before my presentation, I got woken up, and it's like, yeah, that's not what you're going to be talking about. And I got a divine download, and what I saw was a coin. And on one side of the coin, it said misfit, and on the other side, it said trailblazer. And when I woke up out of that experience, I realized that all of us that have ever felt like a misfit or an oddball in any kind of way, that we're actually trailblazers, that energy, that consciousness is always in a state of expansion. And it can't expand and grow the way it needs to unless the people that are different are birthed onto the earth to present different ideas, new ways of seeing, new ways of being. And then out of that, expansion happens. And so each and every one of us, just the fact that we are connected through EFT, we are trailblazers, bringing this tool out into the world in tiny and enormous ways. And even in the tiniest of ways of maybe mentioning it to a friend, the growth of this incredible tool that frankly changed in my life and saved my life, we get to bring that out because those of us that are different take a chance on things that are different. We're open to things that are different. And so, yes, each and every one of us is moving from misfit into trailblazer. And so I call that the M2T experience. And just to let you all know, with the book, if you go to yourdifferencesyourstrength.com, all of the journal exercises I've made into PDFs, and there's a song list, and I went on to Spotify and made the song list. So you get a bunch of free resources with it because for myself, I learn in different ways, and sometimes just reading something isn't enough. I have to see it or experience it in a different kind of way. So I try to approach in all of my books, I try to approach coming at things from being a visual learner, auditory, right? Coming at it from different angles so we can break up patterns more easily.
Oh, I love that. That sounds great. Yeah, brilliant. So Orla's put the link there to your website, Your Difference is Your Strength, if anybody wants to go and have a look at that. Um, yeah, and there's another one there. Thank you, Orla, for that. And just to say that I'm going to be running a level 1 training EFT if anybody's interested in training. So starting next week. So I'll get Orla to post up the link. And there's an early bird offer for another couple of days if you join the training. Um, so yeah, I
I,
love what you're. Yes.
can I just say, if anybody out there has experienced EFT, but you haven't done training, please do it. Make this tool your own. As my friend Jean Monterstelli likes to say, EFT takes minutes to learn and a lifetime to master.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's always more that we can learn, and Grenier is one of the best. So, to have an opportunity to train with her is a very, very good thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Kris. And I loved you said something about shifting the paradigms that, what we're doing is we're shifting the paradigms that by being, yeah, that actually just by us, I suppose, stepping up and having the courage to be different, we're shifting paradigms and we're shifting. I love that. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because, like many people that are different, I spent a lot of time and energy trying to fit in where I was never going to fit in, trying to be acceptable to people that were never going to find me acceptable. Besides it being exhausting, my life was an absolute mess. So the more and more that I embrace myself, it's not that life is worse or scary. It's better in every single way
Yeah.
because we have our own unique soul that's like our own fingerprint, right, in the universe. And that soul is made, it's the way it is for a purpose. And so the more we can love and accept that, well, then the opportunities that show up, the doors that open, the money that flows through, the relationships that show up, doing this has been the key piece to me manifesting my best life. It's
Yeah.
absolutely, and it's a lifelong process because I'm always coming face to face with places where I'm tempted to diminish or reject a part of myself. And now
Yes.
I recognize it. And when I love and accept that part of me and I bring it into my essence, I operate from wholeness, and the universe, God, source, whatever your understanding of your higher power is, suddenly I'm coming into alignment with who I came here to be. And what I'm looking for shows up and shows up in the most extraordinary of ways. So we get to have a love affair with the number one person in our life, and that's ourselves. And that love affair just deepens and grows as time goes on. But then also life itself becomes really juicy and exciting and thrilling and fulfilling in so many ways.
Yeah, I love it. Could we do a round on that actually? Do you mind if I lead a round on this? Because it just,
Please, I would love for you to
yeah,
lead
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm open to having a love affair with myself,
I'm open to having a love affair with myself.
to open myself up to all these amazing opportunities.
To open myself up to all these amazing opportunities.
Because every time I try and make myself a bit smaller,
Because every time I try to make myself a bit smaller,
I disconnect from myself.
I disconnect from myself.
I disconnect from my soul.
I disconnect from my soul.
I disconnect from my heart center.
I disconnect from my heart center.
And I'm open to fully connecting with my soul.
And I'm open to fully connecting with my soul.
And that might be a little bit scary
And that might be a little bit scary and overwhelming,
and overwhelming, but it's also a little bit exciting.
but it's also a little bit exciting.
And I'm open to embracing more of myself,
And I'm open to embracing more of myself,
my authentic self,
my authentic self,
who I am at a soul level.
who I am at a soul level.
And the more I shine,
And the more I shine,
the more I allow others to shine.
the more I allow others to shine. Yeah, true.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Okay. I'm open to having a love affair
I'm open to having a love affair
with myself.
with myself.
I'm open to respecting myself,
I'm open to respecting myself,
showing myself love.
showing myself love.
I'm open to fully showing up as my authentic self,
I'm open to fully showing up as my authentic self,
who I am at a soul level,
who I am at a soul level,
being fully heart centered,
being fully heart centered,
fully connected to my soul,
fully connected to my soul.
because this is who I am meant to be.
Because this is who I am meant to be.
And the more I am myself,
And the more I am myself,
the more I am my authentic self,
the more I am my authentic self,
the more I allow others to be the same.
the more I allow others to be the same.
And it's about embracing our differences,
And it's about embracing our differences.
maybe thinking about things a little bit differently,
Maybe thinking about things a little bit differently.
because the world isn't just linear.
Because the world is not just linear.
There are many ways to solve problems,
There are many ways to solve problems.
and there is room for my differences.
And there's room for my differences.
There's room for all of our differences.
There's room for all of our differences.
And I'm open to embracing others' differences,
And I'm open to embracing others' differences,
even though it may be challenging at times.
even though it may be challenging at times.
I'm meeting both them and myself with compassion
I'm meeting both them and myself with compassion
and love.
and love.
I'm being kind to myself and others,
And being kind to myself and others,
and allowing us all to be different
and allowing us all to be different and unique.
and unique. Thank you. Okay, now take a big deep breath in and out. Thank you. So I might just check in and see how people are doing after that, if anybody wants to pop anything into the chat box. And I know, Kris, you said you would like to finish off with some kind of maybe a universal prayer or something, and it's non-denominational, so it's whatever your belief system is.
Yes, it's a form of affirmative prayer. So it's a type of prayer that creates. And so, what I want to affirm for each and every one of us is that we're loving and accepting ourselves more than ever and recognizing the gold and the good in our differences. And so, everyone just gets to just close their eyes and let themselves receive. And so, what I know is that there is one power, one presence, one infinite life force energy that goes by so many names: Source, universe, God, divine love. What I know is it matters not what I call it, but that I call upon it because it is within me, it is within each and every one of us. That our bodies, minds, and spirits are made out of this one source. And this source is good, and this source is ever unfolding, and this source is love itself. And so there is no separation at all between me and this. I am one with this beautiful force of divine love that is here. And this divine life force energy is leading me and my soul and my life experience forward in the most extraordinary of ways. So for right now, I'm knowing that the divine love within me is teaching me how to better love and accept myself in every way. From caring for my body temple to setting boundaries to getting enough rest to scheduling in joy to communing with my spirit to making myself the priority of my own life. What I know is I am guided, that you are guided, that each of us is like a diamond with all of these facets, everything we like about ourselves and everything that we don't, coming from this one source. And I declare all aspects of each and every one of us is good, that our differences are a blessing, that we are a part of this giant ecosystem that is life on Earth, and that as each of us embraces our own unique differences, we take our rightful place in the universe. And as we take our rightful place in the universe, this love affair continues to grow. And we find more and more that is good and right within each and every one of us. And as we are in deeper love with ourselves, it's just so much easier to love others more deeply as well. And so I see that we are divinely guided, that insights are showing up and showing up right on time, and that we recognize that everything is holy now, including us and our own unique presence in the universe. So, what I know is that each of us are open to miracles and blessings unfolding and leading us forward, doors opening, opportunities showing up, and life getting easier the more and more I embrace my own true nature. And I am doing that right now. And then I'm inviting each and every one of you to do the same. So, with incredible gratitude for answered prayers and the ways that show up I expect and the ones that are surprising, for the love that is within each and every one of us and that love that is guiding us forward into our best lives, for the miracles and blessings that are showing up, and for this love affair growing and growing. Thank you, sweet spirit. Thank you, universe. Thank you, life itself. And now I move into surrender. I move into remembering there's universal intelligence. So there's nothing else for me to figure out. It's all already been figured out. I'm making myself available to it and allowing this to flow. And may each and every one of you allow this word to be made manifest for your highest goods in all of the best ways. I surrender it over into the arms of infinite love and oneness, and simply trust and know this is done. And so it is. Amen.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Kris. That was absolutely wonderful.
You're so welcome.
That was gorgeous. Thank you so much. So I'd like to thank everybody. If you want to put anything in the chat box just before we go, big thank you to everybody for coming here this evening. Big thank you to Kris. That was just wonderful. What a wonderful way to end. And lovely to see everybody here. So thank you. Thank you all so much, but especially Kris, thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you. Some
Thank you.
lovely,
Sending love and blowing kisses.
yeah, a lovely, lovely, lovely
Every one
comments.
of you.
Beautiful. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, that's a treat. I love that. It was a treat. Gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't it a gift that we
It
come
is a gift.
across an entire ocean and we get to come together and celebrate love?
Yeah, yeah. And it's lovely to see people put their cameras on. So it's lovely to see people there. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. So yeah. So thank you all and goodbye. And she'll see you again. And a big thank you to Kris.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.